news that we just talked about. C.J. Stroud, Texans quarterback, out this week against the Jags. He's still in concussion protocol. Really interesting scene there in Arizona as Kyler Murray is now on IR. He's going to miss at least 4 games. In Tampa, Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin Jr. did not practice this week and are likely out against the Pats. Brian Thomas Jr. also out Sunday. The Bears' DeAndre Swift did not practice today. That was not injury related. That was personal. He is questionable. This from Adam Schefter. The Commanders do not expect to place quarterback Jayden Daniels on injured reserve. Per sources, they will reevaluate that elbow injury during the bye week. That coming, of course, after they host the Lions on Sunday. All right, off to another matchup. Chargers, Steelers. That Chargers O-line, they could be in trouble. They are now without Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. As we know, both those guys gone for the rest of the season. The Chargers ranked 27th or worse this season in pass block, run block, and pressure rate allowed. The Steelers defense currently holds the 3rd best pass rush in the NFL, and boy, did they bounce back. I was thinking all week I should have picked them last week, RC. They looked really good.
I was not thinking that.
It was a good game for them. They got back to like Steelers football.
Yeah, it was a good win.
Yeah.
I was right when I picked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They just played better than I thought.
Okay.
When you picked it.
The
other team didn't play the way they should have.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm not putting that on me anyway.
6 turnovers.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, how worried should he be this week?
I think he should be extremely worried. When you look at the 2 best outings for the Pittsburgh Steelers as a defense, you go back to the New England Patriots, and they were able to create 5 turnovers in that game. We saw the same thing against the Indianapolis Colts. Is when they can pin their ears back, and especially when on the outside with Highsmith and T.J. Watt and Herbig. And we also saw Peyton Wilson take a step forward with his playmaking last week. I'm not sure that Terrell Austin will have as much of a grasp on what he wants to do early downs the way he did against the Indianapolis Colts. But if he can make Justin Herbert hitch in the pocket the way that we saw Daniel Jones last week, it should be a feasting festival for the front line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when we see them get after the quarterback, when they can create chaos and create turnovers, that's when we see the best defense.
I think that early down plan that he had last week should be the same one this week. You know, when you watch that game over, it was evident that Pittsburgh defensively on early down said we're going to defend the pass. Indy was the most pass-happy offense in the NFL, or certainly one of them. They were aggressive on early downs. So Pittsburgh played like coverage on 1st and 2nd down. Justin Herbert leads the NFL in passes on early downs. So, and he's like top 5 in yards. So we're talking about almost, at least philosophically, identical to what Indy does. Indy wanted to be aggressive throwing the football on early downs. The Chargers want to be aggressive throwing the football on early downs. Now, they'll go about it a little bit differently with some play action pass, but I would fully expect Pittsburgh to play those early down kind of coverage concepts more. The interesting thing is going to be Greg Roman, the play caller for the Chargers. Does he then pivot and try to maybe establish the run early on? Because I think trying to throw the ball a ton early with the beat-up offensive line and a defense that's ready for it could really hinder the Chargers offensively.
Oh, man, we don't talk before we decide who goes in what order, because my note for the Chargers is Justin Herbert, 1st down, go under center, and then hand the ball off, which is what the Colts should have done, honestly. We're watching that game back. I'm not convinced that this Steelers run defense is fixed. I think that they really had an excellent game plan. It took advantage of the Colts' pass aggressiveness. And particularly against under center runs, they are allowing the highest 1st down rate in the NFL. They're bottom 5 in most metrics. And something I've noticed, you guys, with Kamani Vidal, running back, they've been running under center way more, 70% of the time, with Vidal, which is much higher than before he became their starting back. It was really successful against Minnesota. I think he's a good back, and you know, the worst thing you can do is turn this into a drop-back game behind that offensive line. They have to find a way to run the ball on early downs and do so with success against this front.
And I'm sure they know it.
I think another big thing for me is Justin Herbert having some willingness to use his legs. Dan mentioned some of those 1st and 2nd down calls. Some of those calls were 2-man, where the underneath coverage would have their back to the quarterback. And Justin Herbert being one of the more, in my opinion, talented runners in this league, if he could be decisive on when to take off from the pocket, there could be some opportunities to gash the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, I'm really glad you said that because as we look at our picks, only one of us is on the Chargers. Oh, no, Mina's on the Chargers, too.
This is right.
Why,
yes,
why don't look back there when I got a camera right here?
Because the
It wasn't
camera's
in-
40 feet away.
Wait.
So
Mina
far.
was Steelers in my rundown, but now she's Chargers. I
Joe
love
Alt
it.
would be really
Joe
disappointed in you.
I know. Joe Alt's not playing, and yet you're still picking the
I
Chargers.
did pick the Steelers, but it's fine.
You did pick the Steelers.
I'm on the Steelers. Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but it's fine.
the
It's
graphic
fine.
guys with
I'll
the
split it.
graphic
It's
guys.
close. I had that score, 21-20.
Yeah,
I can't
well,
wait till you text the group chat and be like, don't worry, guys, I picked the Chargers.
Yeah. Oh, well, I saved us from the. Oh, so close. What a game.
See?
You
what you make of it, man.
you guys are amazing. Thank God it's a Friday. My copy here says it was a forgettable night, though, for Sean Payton and the Broncos offense. Denver had season worst in points, penalties, yards per play. They didn't even pick up a first down on 9 of 13 drives. Those 9 drives without a first down are the most in a game by any team this season. This kind of sums it up. For both teams, there were more penalties than first downs. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
11 penalties, 10 first downs. And Bo Nix looked kind of jumpy, Dan. What were you seeing there?
Offensively, and the quarterback in Denver are not progressing throughout the season.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest concern. 3 things. Number 1, this offense leads the NFL in penalties. It has been the case from the very first game of the season. It's not getting better. Number 2, the quarterback's feet are an absolute mess. And that would be the thing that I'd be most concerned. Just watch his feet. See how closed off his hips are? They're pointed to the tight end. That's why he misses that throw to the edge. Again, just pay attention to his feet. This time, they're pointing down the middle of the field. Now he has to swing all the way to the sideline. There's a throw that's 2 or 3 yards off. This is the worst one of the night. It's in the red zone. He takes off running right now. Why? Where are we going? And then all of a sudden there's frantic and anxiety attached to his feet. And then the interception. This is almost Caleb Williams last week against the Ravens. They're not even moving. They're standstill to throw a slant route. For the whole season, Bo Nix's feet have been this anxious, frantic, unsettled state. They're not getting better, and that's concerning. And the last thing I'd say is this. I think Denver's fallen to the gun trap. They're in the shotgun all the time when they throw the football, and there's no way for a quarterback to get his feet better when you're living in the shotgun throwing the football. Sean Payton's brilliant. They got to get him back under center when they're throwing the ball. So those are the 3 things that have to improve, and they haven't halfway through the year.
Yeah, I wonder if part of that is that when they've called boots, he has not been super accurate throwing off of them. So maybe there's some wariness of that. But to Dan's point, what they're doing isn't working. I mean, the Raiders sold out to stop the run in this. 12 of J.K. Dobbins' 16 carries were into stacked boxes. And the Broncos simply could not punish them for it at all through the air. I think what concerns me the most, and Dan, you really captured this right there, a lot of Bo Nix's inaccurate throws downfield, and he leads the league in off-target throws over 10 yards, come in clean pockets. I mean, the contrast, right, between the pockets was kind of astounding last night, as Denver pass rushers were like in Geno Smith's lap before he had a chance to do anything. Bo, however, even in clean pockets, it almost looked like he thought he was Geno Smith and he was under pressure in them, and it was really hard to watch because the offensive line was playing well. I agree. I think footwork is an issue here. If they can't punish teams for selling out against the run the way Las Vegas did, I do not have much hope for this Broncos offense moving forward.
Yeah, and why does he
just
takes off right away?
Well, I think part of it is 86% of their pass game is from the shotgun. This is my thing this year. Teams are in the shotgun way too much. I think Denver's in the shotgun way too much. And then when you're in the shotgun, it's just very difficult to marry the timing of the pass concept or route with your feet. And the reality is accuracy is from the ground up. Accuracy doesn't really come from your upper body. It's from the ground up. And he right now is a mess from the ground up.
It just seemed like he was a lot more methodical in college than what we saw last night and last year. And that is concerning. Of course, the defensive side of the ball is kind of what we thought they were at the start of the season, right, RC?
Listen, absolutely. Even last night without Patrick Surtain, I mean, save from a drop by Thornton, who had actually beaten Riley Moss on a double move, they again put pressure on the quarterback. They beat up Geno Smith the entire night. And I love the way Mina and I talk about this all the time. Vance Joseph doesn't just rest on a four-man rush because Nick Bonito and because Jonathan Cooper and Zach Allen can win. He continues to disguise. He continues to show simulated pressure, and he also brings second-level players to add to the rush. And they won that game last night. If you don't believe me, ask J.K. Dobbins, who says so after the football game. But we're going to see this from teams. If you look at the last 2 weeks, 18 points scored against the Houston Texans, and then last night you only scored 10. This is a team that can't put points on the board, and after a while, when you continue to put that sort of pressure on your defense, not only do they break physically, there's also a mental and emotional toll that it takes when you feel that you are under pressure every single time.
I don't know why they didn't stick with Dobbins more either. Speaking of him,
I mean,
last night,
if you're the Raiders, you were like, Bo Nix has to beat me. And last year, I felt like he had the ability to, especially late in the year. There's been a dramatic change, even in this season.
Yeah, which is so crazy. And next up, they're going to face Spags in that Kansas City defense. So
That's all we need.
Yeah, exactly. Breaking news.